December 17th, 2016, 2:14 a.m., Fort Meade, Maryland. Inside a windowless command room known only as Sub-Level E, rows of glowing monitors lit the faces of the US CyberForce, America's unseen digital soldiers. On the surface, the world slept in peace. But deep inside the global internet backbone, an invisible invasion had begun. It started as small anomalies, voltage fluctuations in Ohio, unexpected relay shutdowns in California, and a sudden burst of encrypted data coming from outside US borders. At first, analysts thought it was random interference. Within minutes, it became clear it wasn't. A foreign cyber unit, believed to be state-sponsored, had launched a coordinated digital assault on the U.S. power grid. The goal? Trigger cascading blackouts across major American cities, from New York to Los Angeles. The attackers had slipped a self-replicating worm into grid control networks, designed to override fail-safes and fry transformers within hours. But someone was watching. At Fort Meade, a CyberForce lieutenant named Evelyn Carter noticed irregular code behavior during a midnight systems scan. What she saw looked like random network noise until she traced it back to multiple power substations simultaneously receiving the same foreign IP signature. Her quiet report triggered Operation Silent Current, the most secretive cyber defense mission in U.S. history. By 3 a.m., the situation had escalated. On massive screens, analysts watched as red data lines spread like veins across a map of the United States. The enemy code was intelligent. It learned, adapted, and rewrote itself every few seconds. At that moment, US CyberForce switched from defense to offense. Digital strike teams deployed a counter-malware framework known internally as Aegis, an AI-driven defense grid trained to predict enemy code behavior in real time. The room turned silent except for the steady hum of servers and the clacking of keyboards. Every keystroke mattered. This was cyber warfare in its purest form, where seconds replaced bullets and mistakes could bring cities to darkness. "We're not fighting hackers," one commander muttered. "We're fighting algorithms." The enemy worm tried to infect regional substations, Pittsburgh, Dallas, Seattle, attempting to overwrite control firmware. But Aegis learned faster. It mirrored the attack, reversed the payload, and began feeding false network data back to the attackers, making them believe the virus had already succeeded. Within 15 minutes, the infiltrators lost control of their own system. What they didn't know, the Americans had turned their weapon inward, tracing it to servers in Eastern Europe and the Pacific Rim. The U.S. never confirmed who was behind it, but CyberForce logs later referred to the event simply as the Night of the Black Grid. For the analysts inside that bunker, the hours that followed felt endless. They rotated in silence, running patches, isolating infected nodes, verifying power output data, minute by minute. Outside, millions of Americans slept, unaware that the country had stood one command away from a nationwide blackout. At 5:47 a.m., the final breach was neutralized. Lights stayed on. Cities continued to hum. Airplanes landed safely. Hospitals never flickered. And no one knew how close they had come to chaos. Inside the command center, the exhausted CyberForce team finally exhaled. They didn't celebrate. There were no medals, no headlines, only quiet pride. As one analyst later said, If we do our job right, the world never hears about it. For weeks, they monitored the power grid systems in silence. The infiltration stopped, but the lesson remained. The next war wouldn't begin with an explosion. It would begin with a login. In the years that followed, US Military CyberForce evolved into one of the most sophisticated digital defense organizations on the planet. Its soldiers don't carry rifles. They carry keyboards, neural AIs, and encrypted firewalls. They operate in silence, beneath layers of secrecy, scattered across underground bunkers and secure satellite hubs around the world. Every day, they intercept billions of digital probes from foreign adversaries. Every second, they defend not territory, but infrastructure, hospitals, airports, satellites, and nuclear facilities. In this new age of warfare, information is the new weapon, and data the new battlefield. Historians may never fully document the night America almost went dark. But among those who were there, those who stared into the heart of a living virus and won, one truth remains unspoken but deeply understood. Wars aren't just fought on land, sea, or air anymore. They're fought in silence, inside machines, inside code, and inside the minds of the unseen.